Meeting of the City Council of the City of Casa Grande to order. The first two items on our agenda are the invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. Lisa, you'll do our Pledge of Allegiance, and
Pledge of Allegiance.
did Bob do it last time? Matt, would you mind? Oh, you did that? Bob, would you mind?
Sure.
Okay, please join me.
I could say the rosary.
Dear Lord, we ask for your presence tonight and to bless us with the blessing of wisdom, knowledge, courage to conduct the business of the city. We also ask for your guidance as we prepare programs to reach out to our community and help those in need during this difficult time. We ask that you watch over our nation and around the world during these times of sickness and political unrest. We also ask for your blessing for our first responders as they are at a heightened increase of exposure. We ask for your blessing on doctors, nurses, any of those that are treating those in need right now. Also over our military service at home and abroad. We ask all these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Bob. Let the roll call show that all council members are present.
Mayor McFarland, regarding our minutes tonight, we have the City Council regular meeting minutes from July 6th and the City Council special meeting minutes from July 6th also, and I move approval of both of those. We also have the Casa Grande Fire Personnel Retirement Board minutes from the April 30th, the Casa Grande Police Personnel Retirement Board minutes from April 30th, and the Casa Grande Police Personal Retirement Board meetings from July 2nd. And I move we accept for the record those three.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, minutes are approved. Next item is item D1, claims.
Mayor McFarland, I move approval of the claims against the city for July 1st through 14th as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the claims for July 1 through July 14. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And Gloria, notice I'm voting. Okay. Meeting agenda approval. Does anyone have any changes? Staff, council, anyone? Since we do have an executive session, I'm going to recommend moving, or not recommend, we'll move the reports item N to come just before the executive session, so right after item L, which we don't have, so, but I'll put it up there. So just before item N. Anyone else have any changes, or? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve with the amendment.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Agenda is approved. We'll move to item G, consent agenda. All items with an asterisk are considered routine matters and will be enacted by one motion, one roll call vote of the council. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or member of public so requests, in which event the items will be removed from the consent agenda item and considered in its normal sequence of the agenda. Does anyone have anything you want to pull from the consent agenda item?
Mayor McFarland, I move approval as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Cortson.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Yes. Right. So we will not have any public comments again tonight. Chief knows how to make an entrance. Okay, item I-1, consider ordinance number 3207. I think that's you, Chief. You got here just in time.
Trying to listen to that, too. Good evening. Mr.
Congratulations.
I was just going to say
Yeah,
congratulations,
congratulations.
welcome.
Mayor. Thank you, thank you, I appreciate it. Mr. Mayor and Council, I'm here to speak to you tonight about our Motorola Solution Service Agreement. I think, without going into a whole lot of detail, I think most of you have become somewhat of experts on Motorola and radios over the last 6 to 8 months or so. But this is just a normal agreement that we do with them to maintain the radios. When something breaks at the comm center, they come out and work on it. So it's basically a 1-year extension of a contract that we've already had this and had it for a while, but we have to renew it every year. And they come out, work on the radios, maintain them. It's also, they do the preventive maintenance, technical support. If something happens, we can call, obviously, and get them to look at it as well. It gives us a help desk. It gives us technicians that come out. Primarily, it's for the consoles and all the equipment over there, and it's for the next 12 months, this agreement. It's not real complicated, but if you guys don't have any questions, or if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Bob?
Yeah, last time Kevin was here purchasing radios, did I hear him correctly that this doesn't, well, maybe I'm saying this wrong. I thought I heard him say that when mobile and handheld Motorola's go down, they have to be sent off for repair?
Yeah,
Okay,
this is, Mr. Councilman, this is for all the consoles and the radios that are at the comm center.
all right,
We have 5 consoles there, front and 1 in the back for the supervisor. This is strictly for consoles and the radio stuff at the comm center.
okay.
This does not include portable radios, any of the handhelds from fire or police.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, seeing none, then thank you, Chief. I'll entertain a resolution, please. Ordinance, pardon me.
Ordinance number 3207, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting the proposal for services from Motorola Solutions, Inc. to provide preventive maintenance and technical support for fiscal year 2021, authorizing expenditure of public funds and authorizing the execution of a contract by the city manager.
Mayor McFarland, I would move for the passage of ordinance number 3207 as presented.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Gloria, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes?
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Cortson.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next item is item K1, consider ordinance number 3208. Good evening. We're good.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. On July 6th, the Mayor and Council held a public hearing on the FY21 final budget and the primary and secondary tax levies contained in this action. Primary property taxes are collected are used within the general fund for operational purposes, and secondary property taxes are utilized to pay voter-authorized general obligation bond debt. Based upon current assessed valuations, the primary property tax rate of $1.098 will raise a tax levy of approximately $4.2 million, and the secondary tax rate of 0.2752 will raise a tax levy of approximately $1.1 million. It is the intent of the city that the property tax rates of $1.0598 and .2752 be adopted, and that if any adjustments are required to be made by the county, that they do so in the levy. Any questions?
Anyone have any questions?
So there's just a minuscule reduction of what we had in 2020, correct?
Just a little reduction, small reduction.
I have one question. Oh, I'm sorry, did you get yours in?
I'm done, yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Powell.
The assessment that's done on the property, what, people that don't believe it's accurate or a fair assessment, where do they go with that?
County.
To the ca-
There's a process, right? Go ahead.
to Councilman Powell, to the county, or they could call our office. What we find is that individuals believe that particularly if the rate is not increased, that the tax levy should not increase. And we often try to help them understand if there is increased valuation in your property, then that would make for the increase in the levy. And so we're happy to speak with anyone who has a question on the assessment, and we could also refer them to the county.
Yeah, there is a process that once a year, when you receive your tax bill, that you can appeal. But that has to be sent to the county.
When does that come out?
When
They
does-
said you have to get a regular assessment from somebody else if you don't agree with the
Actually, the
assessment.
assessment comes out first, then
annexation.
the bill comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
Assessment comes out in February usually, in a card. It's like,
Okay, I did-
like a postcard.
Okay.
Yep.
And it has it, and it gives you what your appeal process
Right,
is.
Note
And
the
that's
ending.
before the bill comes out.
Right, right.
So the appeal, when is it due?
It actually sets it out, and I've never really
Yeah,
appealed.
the date's on the card. When you get the card, it'll give you.
Okay, I
the
haven't
appeal
got a
date.
card, but I guess I'll try to.
Everybody gets them. Every
It's
property
that little
owner gets
postcard, you
them.
might not even
Ours
pay
used to go
attention.
to our store, and our store's closed,
Oh,
so,
it's a credit, okay, it's just like a postcard.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Any other questions before I actually?
Nope.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no more questions, then I will call for consider ordinance number, please.
Ordinance number 3208, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, levying upon the assessed valuation of property within the city of Casa Grande, subject to taxation, a certain sum upon each $100 of valuation, sufficient to raise the amount estimated to be required in the annual budget, less the amount estimated to be received from fines, licenses, and other sources of revenue, providing funds for the various bond redemptions for the purpose of paying interest upon bonded indebtedness, and providing a general fund for general municipal expenses, and for the fiscal year ending the 30th day of June 2021.
Mayor McFarland, I move for the adoption of ordinance number 3208 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Can I get a roll call vote, please, Gloria?
Brookston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Councilmember Cortson.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. Okay. Short business tonight. Thanks, Larry. It was a long drive today. All right, so we'll go to reports, then we'll start with item N. And Lisa, why don't we begin with you?
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
We're glad you're back safe. Not a whole lot. I just wanted to remind those that it seems like there's so many inquiries you see on social media and friends and about the COVID testing. Sun Life is having another blitz on Saturday from 7 to 10, is it, or 12, I believe it is, 11?
They're going to do 300 people.
300 people, so I know it pretty much booked up pretty quick last time, but for those that are looking to get tested, it is on Saturday. I just wanted to remind everyone the census. If you can please, for those of you that are watching and haven't filled out your census, our number really didn't go up very much in the last 2 weeks, and I know people are really busy, but if you can just go online, make sure you tell your friends and family to go on and take this 9-question survey, and it means so much to our city. So please, please, please do that. I think we had this discussion last time that the nonprofit called the Rest Stop has, they were the ones that were given the shower unit for the homeless. And she is going to be setting up temporarily at the Fountain Waters Church, which is across from St. Anthony School. She was going to do it last week. However, she just got the new shower unit and there was something wrong with one of the pumps. And the generator. So unfortunately, they weren't able to do that, but they do plan on having the shower unit there on Saturdays from 7 o'clock till whenever the water runs out. So that's where they do the hot lunch program. It's on a temporary basis. They are going to have to go before the Board of Adjustment and get that. I think the hearing is set for August 11th, that they're going to have to go and get approval, but they were issued a temporary permit to provide showers for the homeless.
Lisa, this is all self-contained, right?
It is all, yes, it's not
So
going to be draining
there's no water
anywhere.
draining down the
That is
street.
correct.
Yeah.
And they've been really good. There's a lot of support. The Homeless Coalition has been behind her. Unfortunately, when she went before the board, they were going to set up shop right over here next to the old auditorium, and it was denied from the board. But she is, now is going to Fountain Waters. She has support from the church. The Catholic Church, which is the biggest neighbor, is across the street, and Father at the Catholic Church is very supportive and has no issues. So he is going to hopefully give a letter of support, and the neighbors are already providing, there's hot lunch and the homeless are there, and so we're hoping that there isn't too much of a problem. So, but it's a great thing what she's doing. She's been donating, people have given her masks. The fire department gave masks. I know Donna took them over last week. She said that's going to be good. People have been donated soaps and towels and clothing, and so she's really excited to get started up. So it'll be on Saturdays to start. And I think that's it. Just a thank you to Larry and Brett and staff with everything going on with this CARES funding. I know it's a headache, and I know you guys have done so much to make sure we do it right. And I'm just looking forward to getting that out there. There's so many people that are hurting and are in need, and we don't know where it's going to go from here. I'm part of a small business, and it's tough. It's tough as we get more positive employees that have tests, and with the lack of testing and the speed of the results, it's hurting businesses. And I'm sure many of you have seen that, trying to get employees back to work and quarantining and everything. So I'm just really hoping if anyone talks to people that can influence, and Brian, of course, at the hospital is doing fantastic Sun Life, but there's only so much we can do. And together we can make a difference by just wearing these masks. It's not political. I hope everyone really just does their part so we can get businesses going and schools and everything else. So
Okay.
that's it for me.
Thank you, Lisa. Mr. Powell?
I have hit 45 books I've read since this thing started. And I should have a bookstore because I've got stacks like this. I just want to say this is a different world right now that we're living in. And today I was part cowboy and part plumber. Did a heck of a lot better job on the cowboy part than I did on the plumbing. So I have to go to the department store, or the Home Depot in the morning and get the right size, whatever. Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
But as I say, the kids, we have kids that are in our house that come, that their parents work, and we have several of them that come in and stay with my granddaughter. So we have plenty of company, and we have barking dogs if anybody needs one. We could probably be talked into a trade or a sale on them, but anyway, it's I'm looking forward to things continuing to change, and they're seeming to. What's really scary to me is the anarchists that we see, and where it's come to that. And I'm so happy that we live in Casa Grande, Arizona, And it is a very safe feeling to live here and know that we don't have to worry about some of the things that others do. And I just pray for the ones that are experiencing a lot of the downside of this. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Mary?
Don't have a whole lot. I wanted to welcome Chief Keen again aboard, and that to your new position. You've been here for a while. How long have you been here? 4 years. Okay, so it's not like you're new, and so congratulations, welcome. The one thing through all of our conversations, and we dealt a lot with students learning at home and that, I'd like to take a look at the possibility of somehow putting together workshops for parents to teach their children. So it's one thing we can provide everything in the home for the children to learn, but we're not natural teachers necessarily. I know I'm not, that's why I'm not a teacher, and so I'd like to see some efforts being made and encouragement, whatever the city can do, but also partner with teaching parents how to teach. It is going to be the new normal for right now. It looks like that the online learning is going to be the majority of what's going to be happening. And if we can assist parents with that daycare element with it too, but also, again, here's some suggestions, here's some things that you can do, and you can do some online workshops with the parents, but that's all I have.
All right, Matt?
Thank you. Mr. Powell, I'm set on barking dogs, so thank you for your offer.
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah, and the new normal, I am happy to live in Casa
I've got
Grande.
one that's part weenie dog.
As I was sitting in a parking lot of a restaurant eating the other day at a table, it's a different world. But speaking of loving Casa Grande, don't forget about the shirts available at the Chamber of Commerce and the Main Street program they're running, and it helps fund the Shop Local program, and there's contests. You can win prizes, the I Heart CG shirts and the Live It Casa Grande shirt, Love It Casa Grande shirt, and they're available at the Chamber of Commerce. Don't forget that. And the Rotary Club is doing another meal giveaway this Saturday at Eva's Mexican food restaurant starting at 9 a.m., focusing on families and single parents, but anyone's welcome that needs the food. So come on down, and starts at 9 a.m. at Eva's until they run out.
Great.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Matt. Donna?
Speaking of the shirts, they make great birthday presents, and there's many I Love Casa Grande shirts left because the other ones are beating them like 100 to 1. So I wanted to just also congratulate Chief Keen. As Lisa said, I was able to deliver a whole bunch of masks that he received as a donation, and Melanie's going to be using those at the hot lunch and stuff, so that was really cool. I did want to mention, shout out, this is the time of the year that we start asking people to sign up for the Mayor's Reading Program. The library has already sent something out to all the people that have been involved before, and while it is a different time and we're not going to be able to go in and read to the kids, we're actually going to be taping online. I think the mayor and I and several of the firefighters did some taping of books this summer, and they went out and to all the kids as the school were ending. So Mayor's Reading Program is still going to go on. It's just going to be different. The library's going to help with the taping so that when the kids are being taught at home, they can still enjoy our wonderful voices. That's it.
Thanks, Donna. Bob?
Two things. I had hoped Kevin Lewis would be here tonight because I wanted to pay a compliment to Public Works, Sanitation, specifically the bulk guys, and I hope Larry will pass it on to Kevin. Anyway, my story is I had several months of junk, broken furniture, you name it, it was in there. And making a trip or two to the landfill is becoming less and less attractive to me as I get older. Anyway, I called Public Works. They told me the next day for bulk pickup, and I put about 2 truckloads full of junk on the edge of my yard. And the day that they picked it up, my plan was to go out there and pick up any remnants that were left behind and clean up my yard and put those in the dumpster. I went out, and it reminded me of the Serve Pro motto like it never happened. There was nothing there. They raked my yard. I mean, you couldn't tell that I had junk out there. And then I thought, I bet they knew it was a council member's house. But I remembered my neighbor across the street. He had a similar pile of junk for the same day. And I walked over, and his looked exactly like mine. They had cleaned up every speck. So anyway, my compliments to them. And also, I want to thank Larry specifically for Chief Keen's promotion. I love it when we promote from within. I know that it's not always appropriate or possible, but you have clearly demonstrated that you're open to that idea, that process, and I was thrilled to see you promoted, Chief. So thank you.
Great.
Could I
Thank you,
make
Bob.
one more quick comment when you get a chance?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, truthfully, more people are shopping Casa Grande now than, that's the one benefit of the COVID, if there's any kind of a benefit whatsoever, is so many people don't want to drive to Phoenix or somewhere else and mask up and be in a crowd of people. So I know we've been getting those reports, and it's really nice to see that we are getting a good amount of local shopping right now, and we certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Let's see, I don't have a whole lot because I was gone, but I did want to talk a little bit about the whole COVID situation, and also I really want to kind of give a shout out to the citizens of Casa Grande because they really are doing a good job of masking up. I go into the grocery store, and I've gone into Home Depot, and 98% of the people have a mask on. Yeah. So I would say great job, keep it up. To Lisa's point, it does help. Let's try and slow this thing. It's not slowed yet. Just to give everybody an idea, in our zip code over the last 30 days, we have almost 89% of all the cases have been reported in the last 30 days since we've been tracking. And somebody says, well, that's because you have a lot of tests. That's true. But in the last 30 days, we've only, it represents only about 55% of all the tests. So that to me says that, and I look at my percentages, and they're still going up. We're at about 11.3, 11.2 in the county. I can't track it for 85122, but in the county, we're 11.2, and the state's at 14.5. So for every 100 tests, 14.5 people are showing up infected. So it hasn't slowed. It's still climbing. So let's continue to, I'm hoping in this next 4 or 5 days, we'll see that this effort that we've been putting in the last couple of weeks, hopefully that effort will prove out, and we'll see a decline in those numbers. So just keep up the good work, keep doing what you're doing, and appreciate it. I did want to give a shout out too also on we've got the reports for our housing starts, and through June we're up 13%, Casa Grande. So we're at 397 year to date. Last year we were at 352. And just for comparison standpoints, Maricopa year to date is at 406. And they're down 16%. Not that I like to compare myself to Maricopa or ourselves to Maricopa, but they like to brag that they're going to be bigger than Casa Grande too, so turnaround's fair play. Really, this last week I was on vacation. I actually took my mom over to California to visit some of our family. She hadn't seen them in about 5 years, and she's about 89 years old, and didn't feel comfortable putting on her plane, so we drove. California's a mess, just FYI. I know there was a reason why I left it about 35 years ago. And we did have the general plan update meeting, the steering committee last week, and it was a good meeting. We're starting to wrap things up, starting to finalize all of the plan definitions and the land use definitions. And so I think we made good progress, and I think you'll start to see this wind down with some public hearings coming and being announced here probably in the next 30 days. They won't happen in the next 30 days, but the public hearing announcements will come out in the next 30 days. And then also, just to remind everybody, the early ballots were sent out on the 8th of July. So if you haven't seen them, look in your mail. They're yellow. And so let's make sure we get those early ballots turned in. It's important to vote. So let's do our part. That's about all I have. I've got several meetings this week, and so I was talking to actually a couple of politicians this week. We've got Sinema, we've got O'Halloran, Mark Kelly, actually today I spoke with, and I know a couple of you guys met with him as well. So anyway, it is the political season, and we'll try and get through this and move forward, because we're all in it together, right?
Yep.
All right, so stay safe out there, and that's it for my report.
Mayor, I left California when I was half a year old. I was a Navy baby.
That was a long time ago.
That's a long time ago.
Would you like
Prior
a,
to World War II, barely.
All right,
would you like a motion to move into executive session?
I would, please.
So move.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Caught myself. All right, seeing none, then we'll move into executive session and ask everyone to leave.
Nicely.
We don't have to tell you twice, right?